Howdy, y'all. It's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this March 27th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. Card in the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist, and please hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell so you stay caught up. All right, so the new plan for the king of Israel has been set in motion. God has appointed David, son of Jesse, to be the new king of Israel to replace Saul. David is a man after God's own heart. He's devoted to the Lord, faithful. Now we're going to see how he sets up David to glorify himself, glorify not only himself, but also glorify God as we go into 1 Samuel chapter 17. You can probably already guess where this is leading up to, but we'll see what happens. So let's go to chapter 17 in 1 Samuel. We're going to read the first half of the chapter. The Philistines gathered their armies together for war. They met at Socoh in Judah. Their camp was between Socoh and Azekah at a town called Ephes Dammim. Saul and the Israelite soldiers also gathered together. Their camp was in the valley of Elah. Saul's soldiers were lined up and ready to fight the Philistines. The Philistines were on one hill, the Israelites were on the other hill. The valley was between them. The Philistines had a champion fighter named Goliath, who was from Gath. He was over 9 feet tall. Goliath came out of the Philistine camp. He had a bronze helmet on his head. He wore a coat of armor that was made like the scales of a fish. This armor was made of bronze and weighed about 125 pounds. Goliath wore bronze protectors on his legs. He had a bronze javelin tied on his back. The wooden part of his spear was as big as a weaver's rod. The spear's blade weighed 15 pounds. Goliath's helper walked in front of him, carrying Goliath's shield. Each day, Goliath would come out and shout a challenge to the Israelite soldiers. He would say, "Why are all your soldiers lined up ready for battle? You are Saul's servants. I am a Philistine. So choose one man and send him to fight me. If that man kills me, he wins, and we Philistines will become your slaves. But if I kill your man, then I win, and you will become our slaves. You will have to serve us." The Philistine also said, "Today I stand and make fun of the army of Israel. I dare you to send me one of your men and let us fight." Saul and the Israelite soldiers heard what Goliath said, and they were very afraid. Verse 12. David was the son of Jesse. Jesse was from the Ephrathah family in Bethlehem, Judah. Jesse had 8 sons. In Saul's time, Jesse was an old man. Jesse's 3 oldest sons went with Saul to the war. The first son was Eliab, the second son was Abinadab, and the third was Shammah. David was the youngest son. The 3 oldest sons were in Saul's army, but David left Saul from time to time to take care of his father's sheep at Bethlehem. The Philistine came out every morning and evening and stood before the Israelite army. Goliath insulted Israel like this for 40 days. One day Jesse said to his son David, "Take this basket of cooked grain and these 10 loaves of bread to your brothers in the camp. Also take these 10 pieces of cheese for the officer who commands your brother's group of 1,000 soldiers. See how your brothers are doing. Bring back something to show me your brothers are all right. Your brothers are with Saul and all the Israelite soldiers in the valley of Elah. They are there to fight against the Philistines." Early in the morning, David had another shepherd take care of the sheep while he took the food, and left as Jesse had told him to. David drove their wagon to the camp. The soldiers were going out to their battle positions just as David arrived. The soldiers began shouting their war cry. The Israelites and Philistines were lined up and ready for battle. David left the food with the man who kept supplies. Then he ran to the place where the Israelite soldiers were and asked about his brothers. While David was talking with his brothers, the Philistine champion fighter came out from the Philistine army. This was Goliath, the Philistine from Gath. Goliath shouted things against Israel as usual. David heard what he said. The Israelites soldiers saw Goliath and ran away. They were all afraid of him. One of the Israelite elite men said, "Did you see that man? Look at him. He comes out each day and makes fun of Israel. Whoever kills him will get rich. King Saul will give him a lot of money. Saul will also let his daughter marry the man who kills Goliath. He will also make that man's family free from taxes in Israel." David asked the men standing near him, "What did he say? What is the reward for killing this Philistine and taking away this shame from Israel? Who is this Goliath anyway? He is only some foreigner, nothing but a Philistine. Why does he think he can speak against the army of the living God?" So the Israelite told David about the reward for killing Goliath. David's oldest brother Eliab heard David talking with the soldiers and became angry. Eliab asked David, "Why did you come here? Who did you leave those few sheep with in the desert? I know why you came down here. You didn't want to do what you were told to do. You just wanted to come down here and watch the battle." David said, "What did I do now? I didn't do anything wrong. I was only talking." He turned to some other people and asked them the same questions. They gave him the same answers as before. Some men heard David talking. They took David to Saul and told him what David had said. And that's where we're going to stop today. All right, so you see where this is leading up to. So here we have the armies of Israel and of the Philistines on opposite sides of a valley on each of the hilltops. And on the Philistine side, we have Goliath, 9-foot tall giant wearing hundreds of pounds of metal armor with this gigantic sword and shield and spear, and he's challenging them, he's goading them, he's like, "Come on, I dare you to come attack us. I'll beat the best man you have, I'll beat anyone you send to me." And Israel is just shaking with fear. They have not put their faith in God, the living God, who promised to give them their victory, because he has rejected Saul. Saul is not following God. But here we have David, this young shepherd, this boy. All he does is he just comes into the camp to bring food for his brothers. And he hears all this, and he's just like, "We're the army of the living God. What can they possibly do to us? How can they possibly hurt us with God on our side?" You see, David's got the faith. He knows what's up. Of course, all the others like, "Man, shut up, kid. You don't know what you're talking about. Look at them. Look at that guy. He's huge. He'll annihilate us." They don't have faith, but David does. So let's see what happens tomorrow in the next part. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. See you tomorrow.